Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So if you haven't watched part 1 of the shed renovation video, I highly just suggest that you watch that now. This is actually going to be part 2. I think this is going to be probably like a 10-part series or something ridiculous because it's just, this thing needs a lot of work. So in part 1 I showed you guys basically how the shed was left. All the literal junk and crap and trash that was left in here. So today that was what I set out to do, and honestly, I have never felt dirty in my life. I encountered multiple different types of feces. I had actually told Tracy, I texted her, and I was like, I don't think I've ever felt this dirty on the inside in my entire life. Like, this is pretty bad. So there was mouse poop, rat poop, squirrel poop, possum poop, and I assume chipmunk poop along with the mouse poop. Chipmunk and mouse poop looks pretty much the same. So it's been a lot of work, but I have gotten it all cleaned out. So that is one heck of a feeling to have all of the boxes of trash and junk out of here. So it's really nice to be able to see exactly how extensive the damage is in here. I definitely am going to have to rip up all of this flooring. In some sections, like right here, the flooring is actually, the plywood is actually 3 layers thick. It might actually be a 4th layer, but I can visibly see 3 layers. And the whole floor with each sheet of plywood in the center, it dips down because, well, the shed was not properly like supported and stuff. From what we can tell walking around looking on the outside, Tracy and I have not been able to find any sort of like any signs of gravel or any cinder blocks that it was set on or anything. It looks as though the shed was literally just set down on the ground or maybe under a brick or 2 here and there. So this thing needs a lot of work. However, I was really surprised that when I came in here and started working around and everything, like I had anticipated that the rot, based on looking on the outside of the building, I had thought that the rot on the back walls here would be at least to this high, but it really is quite low where the rot ends at. And it's just, this is one of them like shed kit things that people buy it pre-assembled and have it delivered here. So it just has the, I think it's called T11 barn siding. I think that's what this is called. So it's just a thin plywood that's relatively inexpensive. So I really am not going to have to buy that much to replace because I'm only going to have to cut like the bottom foot off on this back wall, and that back wall is actually the wall that had the most damage. And as you can see, there's some pretty significant holes back in here where a lot of chipmunks and squirrels, we had watched them running through here and running in here once it started getting cold out, and there was so much poop. It was ridiculous. Like, even just like talking to you guys, like I feel disgusting. Like I wore gloves the whole time, and I had another jacket on the entire time I was working because it was just like I needed so many layers of like, plus it's cold too, but I needed like so many layers of barriers and stuff to dealing with how much disgustingness this was. So I ended up getting quite a lot of bags of trash out of here. I got a box that is stuff that can go to Goodwill. I am going to show it all to Tracy to make sure that it's not stuff that she vetoes and says just throw it away. Like there's this one really super creepy little deer statue thingy that I sent her a picture of, and I was like, this is by far the creepiest thing I found in here, which I'll post a picture of that on our Facebook group. The Facebook page is just Storybook Family Farm. So go ahead and check that out if you guys haven't already, so that way you can see different pictures of things that are going on in the farm. But so I sent it to her. I was like, this is by far the creepiest thing I found so far. And she's like, throw it away now. And I'm like, I already did. Like, don't worry. It's already in the trash and stuff. Thankfully, tomorrow's trash day. So the creepy statue won't have a chance to like jump out of the trash can and run into the house or anything like that. It was very creepy looking. But so the picture that I had found over there by the piece of equipment is actually, I moved it and kind of just hung it up here because I don't know if I'm going to be able to save it. On camera, the coloring looks really wonky. It has a lot more blues in it than it does in real life, but I think it's kind of pretty. And I'm a sucker for art, so even if it's like art that a lot of people don't think is all that pretty, like I like it. So it's probably actually gonna stay in here. I'll probably clean it up and shine it up a little bit and just have it as a nice little decorative wall in here. Plus, this space needs a lot of love. So and then this table here, after looking at it further, it had a little door type thing to it. It is definitely beyond repair. It's really super falling apart. But when I was back here moving all the trash off of this piece of equipment, it is definitely a snowblower, and it's definitely old. It is a Simplicity is the name of the brand of it. So it'd be kind of cool if we can get this thing running and working and functioning properly and stuff. We kind of like old equipment. But so I did find this neat old chair here. It's a very short chair. It was setting over here. And I had honestly thought that the chair was broken based on how short the legs and stuff are. But it actually, upon looking at it further, it is meant to be that short, which is kind of neat. So I'll probably fix it up because it's kind of cool how it's got like these little fingers and stuff. I think it's cool. But so these two dining room chairs here, I do plan on donating those to Goodwill. The stuff that I am planning on donating to Goodwill, I am going to bring back into the shed tonight, so that because it is supposed to rain, so it doesn't get messed up. And then I found this little stand thing. It doesn't have a top yet, but it reminded me of a stand that my dad had made when I was a little kid. It had like a little circle table to it, and it got broke as I became an adult and stuff, and I always really liked it. So I think what I'll do is to kind of like pay homage to the past. I've put a little round tabletop on there and stuff, so that way it can just be a little like end table type thing. My dad used to do a lot of really cool woodworking stuff, and that kind of actually is what inspired me to start doing woodworking, but he did more of like fancy pants woodworking, and I like to work with a lot more like reclaimed materials and pallets and rough stuff. But he did much more polished, finished, beautiful type of things, whereas I do more of rustic and rough cut type of stuff. But I did, when in the previous video of part 1, there was a weird bench type thing sitting right in here that was kind of like blocking the walkway to get in, and it was in shambles. But I did find the rest of the pieces to it. So this is what it looks like. So this arm was disconnected. This back piece here was disconnected. All of these pieces were disconnected. But it's kind of neat because this is one of them, like a storage bench type things, where all of this lifts up, and there's a nice little bit of storage down in there. So that is definitely a neat piece that I will be keeping once I fix it up. But the other cool thing that I found is this really neat bag chair type thing, and I didn't even I almost threw it away before opening it, just because I'm like, yeah, it's probably ruined, but it's not. So it's this like bag chair loungy thing that has like it almost looks like a recliner type thing. And I would open it up, but it's going to take a good hot minute for me to figure out how to get it opened again, because it took me a while to figure out how to get it closed. But I did take a nice little rest on there before getting it all done. So that is definitely something that is not going to Goodwill, because I need places to lounge. And with how much work we've been doing here, and I've been trying to get done and stuff, I need places to rest. So it has been very nice to be able to sit on this bench that I just, unofficially fixed. Everything's just set into place. So yeah, this has been quite the doozy of a day of getting things done. I'll show you guys how many empty boxes there were and stuff, because it's quite the heap. That's just the empty boxes of trash that was inside of the shed. So I'm really looking forward to being able to get some of our stuff put in here once we get the flooring fixed. Because right now, like, our house is doubling as like a garage and a house all at the same time, because we just do not have storage and stuff. So that's been something that's been very frustrating for us the whole time we've been living here, is that there's not a place to store stuff, like seasonal stuff, like garden stuff, Christmas decorations, that sort of a thing, because the attic here is not accessible. It has like a little teeny tiny, like maybe 1 foot by 1 foot access hatch, and I don't even know if I can get through there, and I have very narrow shoulders. So I'm not sure how we're gonna do different things that need attic access, but I guess we'll just cut a bigger hole or something. I'm not sure, but that's another project for definitely another day, because I am tapped out. So if you guys are enjoying this content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.